Greetings. And for those of you who I don't think anyone's here yet, but greetings. It's Matt. It is Matt, your crown prince of Fandemonia. This Friday afternoon. I'm waiting to see you up. Oh, we're live. Sound is good. Okay. So I will. So the plan for here, I have a few unboxings. Now, funny enough, if this were happening tomorrow or tonight around 10 o'clock, I'd probably have some more stuff to unbox. Something really cool is coming today, and for you, my viewing audience, okay, I will hold off for a whole week on opening something I found like last week, and it was like awesome to look to me at least. So I'll hold off for a whole week for that. Yeah. So 305, I will review an article or two before the unboxing. So I'll do the unboxing once hopefully people get here, and then do some articles, talk with audience, and see how it goes. So while I wait, I will use anti-doxing technology to prevent myself from being doxed by my own mail. Advanced anti-doxing technology is being applied. You know, it's funny. I bought this roll of duct tape, I want to say 4 years ago, and I used the first half of it in like a month, right? And then since then I haven't been able to finish it off. So we've done that. One more. Let me double check because I just bonged the microphone. Make sure I could hear my own self talk. Yep. Okay. Sound is still good. Yep. One more application of anti-doxing technology. Wow. This stuff is strong duct tape. Oh, this is Gorilla tape. That's why. Gorilla tape is like insanely strong. Okay. Anti-doxing technology has been applied. Okay, so I will do an article or two while we wait, and then do the unboxing. So first up, let's present, share screen. There we go. And of course, we have to make it so you guys can't see it. There we go. So what is this about? So this is about The Last Starfighter. That was a film back in, I want to say 80. I'm going to say 84, and then I'm going to look it up, and we're going to find out. I want to say it was 1984. Oh my God, I was right. Look at that. My brain is good. So The Last Starfighter was a kind of fun science fiction film about a kid who was recruited by an alien via a video game to serve in these elite starfighter squadron, basically, to fight Zur and the Kodan Armada, and it was pretty good though. Let's here we go. Matter of fact, let's put this up here. That's not going to work. Let's make a tab here. Oh, I see how this works now. See, we're learning the ways that this StreamYard stuff works. Okay, so let's The Last Starfighter. Let's share this tab. So, Last Starfighter. Robert Preston, classical actor, great actor. Alex Rogan, the main character, played by Lance Guest. We've seen him before. That does age now, but you've seen him around and stuff. What is Lance Okay, Halloween 2. Um, you know, a whole bunch of TV stuff here. We've seen him around, but The Last Starfighter is the main thing I would genre fans are known for. Although, again, Halloween 2. It depends on your age there. So, uh, Catherine Mary Stewart. A lot of guys had a crush on her back in the day. Night of the Comet. I mean, that was pretty good. Weekend at Bernie's, yeah. So it, this is a fun movie. Uh, this is back in the era of the great novelizations, by the way. Alan Dean Foster, great science fiction writer. Pretty much in the 80s, when he novelized something, it was better than like anything you would have seen. Better than any novelization before or since. Okay. Anyway, so why are we talking about The Last Starfighter? Let's go back over here, share this tab, and we'll. So they decided they're going to remake it. The Russells want to do it, so that tells me that would be pretty neat if Kurt Russell played the alien who John Preston played, and Wyatt Russell played the Wyatt Russell might be a little too old to play the Alex Rogan character. Because my impression was Alex Rogan was like in his early 20s, but I could be wrong on that. We'll have to find out. So in this era of remakes, I'm not too happy about remaking anything. But if the Russells are involved, there's a chance that this could be a good remake. So brief talk about that. So let's go on to the next thing. So they've announced this is an animated. They've announced 2 Wheel of Time things apparently, an animated movie and a live action movie trilogy. Okay. Um, there's some confusing news. Like I said, it's confusing as to um, like because from what I can see, the articles about one or the other are cross referencing what they're about. So one is about I think the animated one is supposed to be basically New Spring, right? Whereas the live action one is supposed to be a trilogy about the Age of Legends, or vice versa. Like one's supposed to be a trilogy, and one's supposed to be animated, and there's a live action one and so forth. And one's about the Age of Legends, and one's is New Spring. So, but they're cross referencing like which one is animated and which one is a trilogy. I've seen different takes on it. I don't want any of them. They're being done by Amazon. I don't want any of them. The only remotely gratifying news about the Wheel of Time um, movie. The one of them is Eva Longoria is involved. Excuse me. She's a producer. Now she actually has some production credits, and people are making fun of her, but she was one of the producers on John Wick, so she knows how to make a movie. But who knows? Maybe she'll actually be in the movie, and I'm actually getting an attractive woman in a Wheel of Time show. Unlike almost anyone in the crap show, other than the actor who plays Elaine. Some of the other ones are kind of okay, but they're mostly ugly witches. Put it bluntly. Whereas Eva Longoria is the most attractive woman who's of our time. So I'm actually get some fan service out of it at least, even if it's gonna suck. Uh, Not much else to say other than that they're probably to continue to destroy the Wheel of Time as a franchise with these movies, with both the animated and live action movies. Let's go over to Godzilla -1. So I have a couple things to talk about with Godzilla -1. First, this interesting thing here, article from Collider, and stupid Matt. I will link all these articles below. You know what? Yeah, I will link. I will keep. Okay, I will put all when I'm done. I will put articles below in the. I should have did this ahead of time. But anyway, but I might add a few at the end. So now this is from over a week ago. And the only thing I want to share with you is what the director said, because they talk too much. Trying to find it. I thought it was an interesting point. Where is it? Oh, okay. So this point I wanted to make, I don't have the other article. This is about the Godzilla minus one being a phenomenal success. A week ago, they added uh, 2,500 more theaters, extended the run. They've extended it again, add even more theaters, and I believe they're going to try to open in more countries. So this movie, and now we'll go to uh, the numbers and take a look at what we got so far. Godzilla minus one, 52 million so far on a $15 million budget. It made its budget back in Japan and internationally so far. Where we opened so far. Now, some of these numbers are misleading because in most places they schedule for to run for a week. So you got to take that with a grain of salt, right? Um, but I mean, 52 million, and if this continues running in the U.S., especially, it might have a chance at 75 million. So that's something. Okay. What's next? Okay, so this is the last thing I will talk about before I do the unboxing. Then I'll get back to the articles, right? So Christopher Ecceleston made some comments. Now on Roman of the Empire's channel last night, I went off on a bunch of this, so I'm going to try to avoid the rant, but I will, RTD. I mean, I honestly at this point I just hope he dies. I hope a giant monster erupts out of the ground, eats him, dissolves him to nothing, and shits him out on the ground on concrete because he's destroyed Doctor Who. He's utterly destroyed the incarnation of it. And if you listen to Christopher Eccleston, who's finally begun to real now, Eccleston does not like doing sequels or multiple seasons of a project and all that. We've known that, but he was open to doing more Doctor Who. He likes the character. He's a fan of Doctor Who in general as a fan. But apparently, he had a big falling out with RTD, who he said was basically just doing stooge work for the show, the producers. So let's see. Problem is they pad these. Here we go. In turn, the fan favorite Doctor adamantly declared sack showrunner Russell T Davies, sack executive producer Jane Tranter, sack producer Phil Collinson, sack producer Julie Gardner, and I'll come back. Notably, all four members of Eccleston's sacking wish list previously worked on the collective Doctor Who franchise during the Travallo era. Collinson on Sarah Jane Adventures, and Tranter, Gardner, Davies on the core, before returning 23 to Telm Scooty-Gawa's current role. Okay. To this end, Eccleston revealed that his major sticking point with Collinson, Tranter, and Gardner's attachment to the show was how they supposedly credited their success and doing all they could to distance themselves from production. And a question to follow up by the panel host: did you find it hard to be associated with the character? Eccleston declared, "Not at all. I love being associated with the character. I just don't like being associated with these people and the politics that went into the first series. The first series was a mess, and it wasn't to do with me or Billy. It was to do with the people who were supposed to make it, and it was a mess." So he goes on. I'll let you read that on your own. But basically, this is the first insight into the sort of crap show that the showrunners for Doctor Who have been. And now we know they've gone full woke, the message. Even the BBC has called them out on the message. The abomination that was the third 60th anniversary special, spitting in the face of the Celestial Toymaker, one of the fan favorite villains, who had basically one appearance in the show and a whole bunch of EU appearances. One show appearance, and the fans loved him because of how well done it was done. And compare and contrast the endings. In the original ending, the Doctor, the Doctor is basically the Toymaker captures the Doctor and the TARDIS and Dodo and Steve, who are the companions at the time, and he puts them all through these trials. Now, part of the gimmick was that William Hartnell was on vacation for a couple of days when they were filming, So they gave him a trial where he would be out of phase and only have voice, and you don't hear his voice occasionally when he broke through. And so William Hartnell did a bunch of voiceovers before he went on vacation for a couple of days. He came back for the final episode. But the trials they put in, what are the stupid sort of like cartoony games that they were doing in the new episode? The Giggle. Okay, it wasn't a Giggle; these were life and death games. And at the end, the Celestial Toymaker had a trap. See, he made an entire sort of dimension, like the Q makes a dimension. And after Steven and Dodo succeeded in their trial, which freed up the TARDIS, right, so the Doctor could come back into play. The Doctor had beaten the tri-logic puzzle he had been applied to, so he came back into play. So the last thing left was to defeat the final game against the Toymaker. But if he did that and pressed the button, the pocket universe would immediately cease to exist, and then therefore the TARDIS and the Doctor and Steven would go with it. So the Doctor comes up with a plan after he gets Steven Dodo and TARDIS to outwit the Toymaker and use the TARDIS's voice projection capability to project the Toymaker's voice, stripping the final circuit so they could the Doctor could win the contest, so to speak. Because now that's how the classic ended, right? And granted, I mangled it a lot of cut short. The new one ended with a giant fucking laser going through David Tennant's chest, and then Dr. Scooty playing ball with him. Okay, let's get rid of the negativity. I will switch over to the unboxings. It's 3:17, so let's get going here. Now, I got 2 packages from the Rippaverse, but I should have only gotten 1. Hey, Copa, how are you and the missus doing today? Oh, and how is the Bambino or Bambina? How's the family doing today? I do like this Rippaverse packaging. Let me get it big screen. So there we go. Back to the big screen. And see, I used anti-doxing technology to prevent myself from being doxed. What the? So I pull off the stupid strip, right? And there it is. It was like it's a box. They sent me a box. I have to get out the Decepticon knife for this one. Transformer knives, more than knifed you in the dark. It's cardboard in a box. Of course, it's Alpha Core number 1. Now, I ordered 1 copy of Alpha Core number 1. So I'm going to see what this other thing is. I have a feeling that they accidentally... Yeah, those first Christmases with the kids. I don't have kids myself. I have nieces and nephews. And I remember watching them have their first Christmas. The special moments and all that, man. They're priceless. So this is probably an accident. The Rippaverse actually sending me an extra copy. If it is a copy, not a free gift or whatever, I will contact them and see what they want me to do with the copy. Of course, I did apply the anti-doxing technology. More or less, it's been a quiet year for me. Plus, I'm stuck at home coping with the disability. I don't get to see very many people. I'm hoping this is the last year I'm stuck because I'm trying to have a surgery sometime in the next 6 months. So I have a job change coming up in October 24 when my health benefits might get less. So if I can have a surgery in, let's say, the next 5 or 6 months, I will become much more mobile and much less homeward bound. And look, they sent me a box. In a box. In a box. In a box. Once again, the Decepticon knife will be employed. Man, it kills me. If I were doing this show at 10 o'clock tonight or tomorrow afternoon, I'd have something at least one more really cool thing to do. But because I love you guys so much, I will hold on to that box for a whole week. Although, and I know next week I will probably have a huge box of comics to go through. Once again, it's cardboard in a box. And no letter, so I'm guessing they sent me an extra copy of Alpha Core #1. So as I said, what I will do is I will contact the Rippaverse. Thanks, man. Thanks for the prayers. It's been a fight. I had the first surgery back in 2019 to remove like 30-something pounds of a tumor that developed on my groin. And I became somewhat more mobile and I could sit up a lot more. But between there's still another 30 or 40 pounds of it, man. In any case, let's get to the good stuff here. So, yeah, they sent me 2 copies. I ordered 1 copy. I'm guessing this is not a free bonus, so I will contact the Rippaverse via email. That's what they want me to do with this copy. If they want me to send it back or mail it to someone else or whatever, Let's take a look-see inside. Now, I understand inflation has caused. This is basically a $25 comic book, right? It is a full graphic novel format, not a regular comic. There's a lot of story in here. Very high. I don't know if you can hear it. Very high quality construction. Very rigid, so the spine doesn't give out. Quality of paper is excellent. The paper is glossy coated, so you can't wreck it by sliding your hands on it. Very little advertisements in it. I'll see if I can highlight a few pages for you guys. I don't want to wreck. This is too stiff actually to hold up without damaging the cover, so I'm not going to go crazy with it. Looks really good. Coloration is good. Chuck Dixon and Joe Bennett. Those are our team that did this. Let's see. Okay, so there we go. So our team who did this, Chuck Dixon is our writer, Joe Bennett's our penciler, Thiago Del Bello, Emmanuel Braga, Thiago Gomez, Marcelo Lozer, Tomas, their inkers. The colorists are Michael Bartolo and Thiago Del Bello. Okay, so Chuck Dixon probably drew this too, I'm guessing. They don't say who the artist is. Yeah. Okay. Put this away. That, sadly, is my only unboxing. I wish they had made there are different size comic bags. There's one that's slightly wider than this. I wish they had used that because it's tough to get this in and out. Okay, so that's our unboxing. The anti-doxing technology has been proven successful. Okay. So let's get back. If there are no questions from the audience, which is Copa, of course, I will go back to the articles. So here's something interesting. Netflix is finally on. Well, it says here Netflix. Oh, let me give you guys can't see what I'm looking at. So let's go back to this one. Yep. Okay. So Netflix finally reveals hours watched over 18,000 titles in massive viewership report. So if you scroll down here, you can find a link to Netflix's viewer report. This is the Netflix engagement report. This is what they shared. And apparently, there is a way to download the info from here. Okay. Download the report here. So I will. It's a spreadsheet, by the way, team. Let's share it out. So let's present, share screen, window. What is this? Nope, not that. It's, here we go. Present, share screen, window. This is it. So, and this is the Netflix viewer engagement report. And it looks like they give you, let me stretch it. There we go. And you can see in this report, hours viewed, release date for pretty much 18,000 shows, so to speak. See, basically. So that's pretty cool. That's good information to pour over for people to do research on what's been watched and what hasn't been watched. So let's kill that off. So that link will be below. That link will be available below, so you can get that for your own research for your articles and whatnot. Excuse me. Oh man, it's December. It's bloody December, people, and my allergies still go off. Can you believe it? December in New Jersey. Like there's been freezes outside, and my allergies are still kicking off. Like I have itches, and my eyes itchy. I want to live on a bloody space station. Okay, Mark Wahlberg. Here we go. Did it share appropriately? Yep. Okay. So, what is this? Well, if you know me, you know my all-time favorite. Hey, Twicker writes, welcome to my little podcast live stream Friday Fandemonium. I already did the unboxing with my one unboxing I had, but it was Alpha Core #1, which you can see in the title of the window. And I'm going over articles now. Right? So for those who know me, my all-time favorite TV show is The $6 Million Man. And Mark Wahlberg, and apparently it's his all-time favorite TV show as well. So more than 10 years ago, Mark Wahlberg got himself attached to this project, The $6 Billion Man, which is a remake of the TV show, basically. And he's been faithfully trying to get it. Excuse me, that sneeze has ramifications. Oh, allergies in December. It just kills me. It just bloody kills me. I even have a sore throat. Could you believe that? Anywho, so Mark Wahlberg had wanted to play Steve Austin and has been wanting to do this movie for a long time. And Wahlberg is now saying that there's a chance it could happen. Okay, which I'd be enthused about. Because the $6 Million Man is awesome. It started the year I was born, so I didn't really see it until I think I saw the last season or two live, and then saw it in reruns for years after that. Lee Majors is one of my childhood heroes, and he's still one of my favorite actors. Hopefully, if Lee Majors is alive when they do this, they can get him in there as a cameo or something. Anyway, so I think that's pretty cool. Next, okay, over on Dark Horizons, they dropped the third trailer for Dune Part Two, which is the second half of the first book. In truth, I think Villeneuve is doing a good job with the movie. Obviously, with the first movie, um, I have to check my phone calls. I'm on call, so. Mm. Oh Jesus! So I got some bad news, guys. Now I'm not crying crazy like this, but so personal story here. I never knew who my father was as a kid. I didn't find out who he was until essentially I did a DNA test because I was looking to see if I have any cousins or whatever out there. Right? Hey, Spike Swordfish. Um, and so I found out. Apparently, I knew my father my whole life until he passed away, and his family. And while I didn't get along well with him, I got along with his family. But I had a half brother and a half sister out there, but I was not able to meet them very directly because of my disability. But I have been in communication with my half brother, and I texted my half sister once or twice, and it's sad news. And I never really met her, so I mean, I'm not really, you know, like like my half sister passed away. I just found this out from my half brother. So, um, sad news. You know, it's kind of sad when, especially when, because I did want to, one of my goals for getting past the disability issue I struggle with the surgery I want to have come up, is I wanted to meet my half brother and my half sister. You know, so although I met them when we were kids, just not knowing who they were because we grew up kind of in the same Italian neighborhood. They were a couple years younger than me, so it is what it is. So it is what it is. And my headset just died, so I'm going to switch to live. Yeah, I gotta see the thing. Like I said, I didn't Copa. You know how Italian families are. Like I only texted her once or twice, and she never really like reciprocated to the like my brother and I, the half brother who had the same father as me. Every couple we text on a semi regular basis, right? But the half sister, I think we texted once or twice, and she never followed up. So maybe she didn't really want, maybe she didn't have the a positive experience with her father, so she didn't want to follow up with the brother. Whatever. I don't hold anything against her, live and let live. But but it's still sad, when I would have wanted to meet them in real life. I still funny enough, my father is dead. His brother is still alive, and his sister is still alive, but his other sister, Roro, died when I was young. Roro, Kathy, and Charlie, who is his brother, right? Uh, yeah, they were all good to me. I mean, there's speculation that at least Kathy might have known that I was his kid somehow because she was close to Lenny, who was my dad, and um, so, because she always treated me nice, she would stop. Like if I was walking home in the rain, she was driving by, she'd stop and give me a ride home, and all sorts of stuff like that. But she's a nice woman in general, though. Thanks, Spike. Uh, you know, um, yeah, it's just okay. I'm gonna get back on track with some positive news. That because like I said, I'm sad about it, and I'll but like I don't know. How do you mourn someone you don't know very well? That's a good question. Maybe I'll do a video on that, talking about that in general. So let's get back to the program. I'm going to be a professional bear. I'm the professional prince of Fandemonium. I will get back on track. So I'm a big fan. Like when I was a kid, there were certain novels I found on a particular shelf, and I've told the story on the past. Welcome, Spike, by the way. We have some new people, Spike and Twerker. Ty Worker? Do you want to say Twerker with that? Twerker rights? Or am I missing a name pronunciation? Anywho, um, my favorite book of all time is Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. Very shortly after that, right? But on that shelf, there's some other books. Dune was one of them. Dune is one of the great science fiction novels of all time. Second best to me. It's my second favorite science fiction novel. And the 1984 Dune was kind of lackluster. It had its moments. It was a subpar adaptation, but an enjoyable movie, especially if you watch the expanded edition. The Sci-Fi Channel ones from like the year 2000. I don't know. They just felt wrong to me. Like they didn't. They were trying to. I don't know. But so I wasn't really. Now Denny Villeneuve, who did Sicario, that's why I was enthused about, because Sicario has the right atmosphere for Dune. Okay, and I enjoyed the first part, even with some of the changes. So let's take a look at this trailer. I'll mute it and subtitle it, even though the sound is good. Um, so what's happening for these are spoilers for the book, but not so. What's happening here is that Paul, as he is on Arrakis, as you remember in the first movie when they showed him getting stunned by being exposed to the spice on the sand, the more and more he is on Arrakis, right, the more he's being affected by the spice. Now, this is a book spoiler. I don't think it's going to be a movie spoiler, but the reason he's being affected is because he is a male Bene Gesserit, which is something that's not supposed to exist. There are several other of them floating around the setting, which probably aren't even going to be mentioned what they are in the book, in the movie. But so the point is, going to that planet with the spice is something that's forcing something to happen, right? And that's what this sees. Because he sees him having he starts to have visions, predictive vision. His brain's like a supercomputer. He's starting to predict the future very precisely. That's a thumper. That's the water of life. And these are Paul's visions of the future, basically. Well, that's what I think that is. So this is the Fremen. This is probably the Fremen raids that began. Um, there's a bit of time skipping in the point of the book that occurs in Dune Part Two. Like the first part of the book, movie and book that it covers is like maybe a year, let's say, or less. But then there's a couple of years in the rest of the book that they time skip a bit to uh to have the House House Atreides led Fremen resistance to the Harkonnen reoccupation. That's Jessica after she's become a Reverend Mother. This is probably okay, the interspacing from before he becomes his transition to after. This is probably that's scene from the final battle. That's Christopher Walken playing the Padishah Emperor Shaddam Carino the Fourth. Okay, they don't. He was a good actor to play this. Okay, now they're not going to go into this in the movie, but in the prequel trilogy books, so there's some controversy with the Dune books, right? Frank Herbert wrote he wrote Dune, Dune Messiah, Children of Dune, God Emperor of Dune, Chapter House Dune, and one more Dune book, right? That was a collection of novellas. Then his son found all of his notes when he was clearing out an attic, right? And in his notes, he found outlines for other books and started completing them and publishing them with help of an author who I'd never remember, but who people hate. Okay, and most of those have been crap. However, honestly, unless you're really into the setting, after Doom Messiah, Dune gets a little wonky. But the House prequel trilogy is pretty good. And that's where you get Shaddam Carino the Fourth's motivation, right? So the spice, when you take it, grants you extended life to a point and physical health and all that. Shaddam wants to find a way to live forever. He doesn't want to pass the emperor on to whoever married one of his daughters, because it's male dominated. Like they can't be an empress, right? And he's very old, and his grip was growing weaker. And the reason he had the conflict with House Atreides is Duke Leto is the heir, essentially the heir to the emperor. He's the oldest of blood male who's related to the imperial family. And Duke Leto never married Jessica; she was his concubine. So Paul was his heir, but not through marriage. So what Duke Leto was trying to arrange was forcing Saddam for a political marriage that he could essentially become Saddam's heir, and then the Lancerod would force Saddam to abdicate because he's old and considered ineffective. That's the politics leading into the movie Dune, which they talk very little about in the novel, and set of the interesting dynamic that's going on. That's Fade Routha. He is very creepy in the novel, and he's supposed to be physically perfect though, and I don't know if that guy looks physically perfect. That's the Beast Raban. Funny enough, one they're both the Duke Baron Harkonnen's nephews, right? Hey, welcome to the channel, Conroy. That's Paul's son, Leto II, who becomes the God Emperor of Dune. Okay. I'm not going to spoil. They might never make that, so I'm comfortable talking about it. But I'm not going to spoil what happens to Paul, which will happen at the end of the third movie if Villeneuve has his way. Because some of you might not have read the books, you know. Interesting backstory on Raban and Fade. One of them is the child of the Duke's brother, and the Duke's brother was a saint. He he wanted. He was a quiet guy. People loved him. He was very profitable as a ruler, and he ruled this one planet. And his brother couldn't tolerate that, and basically just killed him and destroyed the planet, and took his son and turned him into a monster. That's Gurney Halleck. This is the final battle when they break through the wall with the atomics. I really like the visual presentation. Villeneuve caught the essence of Dune with these movies. So if I had to hazard a guess, this is when Paul begins to undergo the change. I'll just say that way. The special effects look good, but they look good in the first movie. This is part of the Fremen resistance fighting. I like that they're not spoiling many of the events of, like, they're showing you the fighting and all that. That's Long Live the Fighter. You've seen that scene in both previous Dunes. So the prophecy, this is deviancy from the book. In the book, the reason they accepted Paul as the chosen one, okay. Oh, then it's not playing. Oh my god! I clicked the button to make it play and it didn't play. That sucks. Where's the link? The show now. There you go. Yeah, I clicked share this tab view, like the view this tab button up there, and it didn't show anything. So this prophecy that they're talking about is well, the Bene Gesserit, it's called the Missionaria Protectiva. Again, they barely mention it in the Dune novel. It's in the prequels, but it's in the backstory. And for thousands of years, the Bene Gesserits had spread sort of folklore about Bene Gesserits that when they go there, they'll become a Reverend Mother and they'll bear a Holy Child and all that as a form of protection among primitive populations. So that's why the Fremen accepted Jessica as a Reverend Mother and Paul as basically the chosen one. So it's and as I recall the novel, the prophecy was never revealed to the Fremen. This is more of the final battle. I'm betting that scene was Paul the first time he called his own worm. Trailer looks good. Okay. So let's go back to here. So I can close that one out. So it's due out. So I'm back to the article. It says the film finished wrapping in mid-December, so it literally just finished now. Okay. When is it due? It doesn't say when it's due out, but I know they published up. Oh yeah, in June. Strike. Okay, so it looks like the release date probably got put off by the strikes and all that. Okay, so that's that. Let's go on to our next one. A little music. If you're old, if you're an old crank like me, you know who the Dillinger Escape Plan is. They're a pretty good metal band, like underground metal band back in like the 90s and early 2000s. They're apparently getting back together and doing a reunion with the original lineup, maybe even doing a new album. So that's what this is about. I'll link this below if anyone's curious. Here's something I am even more enthused about. The legendary Bruce Dickinson is going to be working with Z2 on a comic series called the Mandrake Project. Bruce Dickinson just put out another album, by the way, which you all should go listen to. What's out of it so far? The album gets released in a couple months, but he's releasing singles as we go. So Bruce Dickinson's The Mandrake Project #1 arrives in comic shops at z2comics.com on January 17th. I'm already going to put it on my pre-order list. The 12-issue limited series is an epic saga of opposing forces battling to use the powers of science and magic to gain control over mortality. It's story developed by Bruce over the last decade, and the Mandrake Project is brought to life through its creative partnership with that kind of team of creators. And the Mandrake Project, I believe, is the name of his album that he's coming out with. Okay. The excitement kicked off with the Afterglow of Ragnarok, a kick-ass track that's been out for about 2 weeks now. Better. Maybe my mouse batteries are dying. I'm clicking it, and sometimes I'll change my mouse batteries after this. That's probably not. It's probably not when I click. Sometimes it's probably skipping. So the excitement kicked off with the release of the single "Afterglow of Ragnarok," a kick-ass single. You also go listen to that if you like heavy metal. Bruce Dickinson, I think he's like 65 years old. You remember them, Doug Copa? Yeah. They had a nice hard sound. You know what I mean? It's been a long time since a Dillinger Escape Plan song. And yeah. And a lot of bands there's a bunch of bands like that who you never thought would get back together, who seem to come together for one final run, you know. So that's pretty good. Okay, so I've done my basically like my entertainment articles, and I like to finish with 1 or 2 science articles, and then we'll hit that up. This is the educational part of the programming, brought to you by me, the Prince of Fandemonium. So this is about a theory called the dark force theory that gets up to open cosmic mysteries. So what are these cosmic mysteries? Okay, this is a theory of what dark matter is made up of, essentially. A new theory suggests dark matter is made up of particles that strongly interact with each other via so-called dark force. If true, this may finally explain the extreme density we see in dark matter halos surrounding galaxies. Now, what is that about? Well, if you look at the picture of the galaxy, dark matter shows up on no way. There's no way of detecting it directly via light reflection or of any sort. They detect it indirectly. Hey, Dempsey, welcome to the show. So yeah, it's YouTube, whatever. Maybe I'm being suppressed or whatever. Uh, so dark matter can only be detected by its gravitational effects, and galaxies appear to be surrounded by this dense halo of it, right? So, but it's really dense, and there's no explanation for why, right? So this dark force. It's this dark force. What holds it together? This is an interesting article. If you're into the science of it, that's a pretty cool thing to read about. I have one more. I thought I had one more science article. Oh, this is cool. You guys can see this. Cosmic nuclear fission seen for the first time in an incredibly profound discovery. So, why this is cool is there's two nuclear processes, fusion and fission. Yeah, basically, we can detect its gravitational effect. So we know there has to be matter there, but we can't detect it by any means of observation directly, like light. Okay. Um, so anyway, there's two nuclear processes: fission and fusion. Right? Fission means break it up. Fusion means separate it out. Um, most um, stars work by fusion. Right? Well, it turns out that the way the heavy elements are made, like iron or whatever, they're made when stars explode. But how does the stuff heavier than iron get made? Well, this cosmic nuclear fission happens, and what happens is, I'll let the article phrases it better. Science have discovered the first indication of nuclear fission occurring among the stars. Discovery supports the idea that when neutron stars smash together, they create super heavy elements, heavier than the heaviest elements of the periodic table, which then break down via nuclear fission to form elements like gold. So this is by detecting this nuclear cosmic fission, they figured out how the super heavy elements on the periodic table actually form. Because no other they couldn't prove that a theory for it, but now they detected it and they know they've proven it. So I think that's why I think that's a pretty cool article. All these will be linked down below. That's my doorbell going off. I don't know, probably not even from me. Uh, also linked down below, and if you want to read that article. Now, what I do at the end is I hit aside from taking questions from the audience, I thought if I had one or two random articles that may have popped up today to talk about. So let's take a gander around the entertainment. Uh, Always like to look up Bounty in the comics. Oh, warning. Warning. If you are a fan of Dungeons and Dragons, do not be scammed by uh, Wizards of the Coast. That what they're trying to sucker people in because they're hemorrhaging money, right? Um, Wizards of the Coast is hemorrhaging money, and because of that, um, they're trying to old products that they had said they never would sell again, like the World of Greyhawk stuff, the older editions of D&D, they're starting to sell again to get money, right? So um, don't buy from them. Don't prop them up with because they've woke up by destroyed Dungeons and Dragons. Go to eBay, go to yard sales, go to shops that have long piles of books. Buy the older books that people are reselling because they don't want to play anymore, or whatever. Don't feed money to Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast. Right? Uh, Someone is yelling. Sorry, guys. Someone is yelling at my window. I want to take a break briefly. I'll be back in 2 minutes. I'm back. Recommendation. Hey, Conroy. Yeah, I liked it. I like Bruce Dickinson's voice. It's amazing to me. Um, Recommendation: you ever live in the inner city, don't live in apartment one, because people looking for other people have been ringing my doorbell, been knocking on my window. It annoys the hell out of me. Yeah, you talk about the Twitch and they're turning into OnlyFans. Given that they're losing money because they're basically kicking away all the people who don't politically disagree with them, it makes sense since they're now left wing oriented to exploit people via sexual means. That's just the way things go. Yeah, the chick in my window was like 84 years old, so no, that wasn't worth a look. Um, okay, so let's go with find an article here that doesn't suck. Let's try out Blade Disgusting. That just that disruption has been brought to you by the internet company. Like my internet blinked. Okay, so let's go back. Blade Disgusting. Present. Okay. Nothing interesting on Blade Disgusting. Oh, well, cool looking images, of course, but nothing interesting to talk about. Bounding. We already went there. Cosmic. Oh, here's this. We all know what's going on with Mark Miller standing up for comic writers, right? Okay, but somehow that's already been addressed. But Mark Waid is a hack. He's a disgusting piece of crap writer who gets way more credit than he deserves. I've despised him since he invented the speed farce for the Flash and ruined the Flash. And then he wrote the worst series I've ever read for Superman called Superman Birthright, where the moron made Superman a vegetarian and gave him a power called Soul Vision. And because Superman could see the souls of animals, he wouldn't eat meat. That's the genius that is Mark Waid. This guy should crawl under a rock and die. Any questions or things you want me to talk about? Let me know. Check out. So it's almost 4 o'clock. I'll try to get 2 or 3 more articles, and then we'll call it a day. Uh, okay, here's something we can take a quick look at. Oh, fuck the speed farce, Copa. Fuck it. You heard me. Fuck it. Matter of fact, double bucket. Fuck it. It is such a stupid concept. Anyway, so let's look at the 35 best thrillers of all time. Right. Let's see what they list them as. Thief. That was okay. Wait Until Dark. I don't remember that one. Yeah. This movie was overrated. To Live and Die in L.A. William Friedkin's a great director, but I couldn't get into it. This is a this is one of the best horror. It's a great horror movie, It's one of the better adaptations of a Stephen King novel. Christopher Walken is a master in this Dead Zone. Body Heat was there. It's been a while. Seconds, Elevator to the Gallows. 7. What's in the box? 7. What's in the box? What's in the box? This is a good movie. We'll just go. This should be like one of the top 5 thrillers of all time. The Manchurian Candidate. Come on. How can you put? Okay, if that's 21, I'm going to skip down to the bottom 5, and let's see what these morons call the top 5. Touch of Evil could go. Taxi Driver. Look, these are all great thrillers. None of them are better than the Manchurian Candidate is better than at least 2 of those. So how can when you put the Manchurian Candidate that low on the list? Screw it. Okay, 402. Yeah, Dempsey. It's a question if you've seen the movie Seven. Anyone who's seen the movie Seven knows what's in the box means. Well, I kind of agree and disagree there, Conroy, about Superboy Prime. I get so you got to understand what they were saying there. In the old DC before Crisis, a Superman punching things could do anything. Okay, like the way so by having him punch that special crystal was sort of a throwback to pre-crisis Superman when Superman could punch to do anything. Okay, it was such now you younger people may not know this, but it was a trope of well, oh my god, that uranium's going to explode. Superman punches it, stopping the explosion. So if I could get why you might not like it, but if you knew what the trope they were like, what the historical reason they had a punch do it, and why it had to be Superboy Prime and not Kal-El, because Kal-El had been depowered. Okay. Giant freaking robot. 403. Perfect Blue, the anime, that was pretty good. Popculture.com. Nope. So we're dating intelligence. This is like it's updated like once a month basically. Screen Rant. Yeah, it looks like we're heading the end. Yeah. What do you do, Copa? Oh, here we go. From Variety, the worst movies of 2023. Let's see what Variety thinks are the worst movies. Yeah, I can agree with that. That's one of the worst. Asteroid City, Magic Mike's Last Dance, Heart of Stone. Then this other guy, when Winnie the Pooh, One Honey. I don't think they get that movie. It's supposed to be bad. Carmen, The Flash. Yep, that's one of the worst movies. It's one of the worst movies in history. Paint. Caligula, the Ultimate Cut. Oh God. Ultimate Classic Rock. By the way, on the music websites this in December, they'll be putting a lot of their, best albums of the year, best songs of the year, best whatever's of the year. You know, this would be a cool time to check on what they interesting. Oh, look at this on a music website. Superman movies ranked best to worst. Okay, they're saying number 8 is Superman 4: The Quest for Peace. I'm not sure that's worse than Superman 3, but we'll go with. I would reverse those two personally. Actually, I would make this the worst one. That's my opinion. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I mean, the order is pretty good. I mean, I'll admit that. The only thing is, I would make this. I would make this the worst one of all time. Batman Superman. Oh, that John Carter movie. Now, is that the one? Uh, so John Carter, for those who don't know, John Carter of Mars is Edgar Rice Burroughs. Edgar Rice Burroughs. Yeah, it's Edgar Rice Burroughs. His Barsoom series, which you also go read. I think it's actually all in the public domain now. Okay. Um, and they've made multiple adaptations over the years. So, Copa, are you talking about the 2012 one? The one with Tyler Klisch? Yeah. I think there was an earlier one. John Carter adaptations. Maybe it was a TV miniseries. I'm remembering, but I remember it being in the 80s or 90s. It was a TV. Yeah. Uh, oh, Toho Kingdom. Let's see what. This is basically a giant monster website from Toho, from Japan. Sometimes there's something cool on here. This is interesting. Toho has announced they've become more involved with movie production and key investments outside of Japan. I think they saw the effect of the yeah, Batman probably did kill more people than Doomsday in that movie. Yeah, that's for sure. I think Toho saw all the money they're gonna make off of Godzilla minus one uh, in the US, and they're like, cha-ching, we need more movies out over there. Oh, Collider. I didn't go to Collider. There you go. Oh, so we'll end with a little bit of. Yeah. So it's almost 4:15. Uh, I think I'm gonna end it at 4:15. So we'll try to find one more thing to talk about. You know what's funny? Next week I'll probably have if I get everything I think I'm going to get in the mail. I'll be spending 45 minutes talking about the comic books I'm getting and a book I'm getting and something else. If it all shows up by next week. Oh, I got one thing that's okay. Okay. So there was a horror film that came out called the Terrifier series. And I would say, you know, I think they're up to the third one now coming out. If you haven't seen it, they're pretty good. They're a supernatural horror film, but they're not over the top supernatural. So this one they're talking about the third one coming out. So yeah. Terrifier reminds me of Phantasm. Has the same vibe. If you're a fan of the Phantasm series, you'll be a fan of Terrifier, I think. Although it's a little more gory than Phantasm. Dark Horizons. This is funny, just because of the way they phrase it. Ridley Scott to direct a bomb. Given that Ridley Scott hasn't made a really good movie since The Martian, including several bombs, this movie title might be psychic. But apparently, it's being called Bomb. Oh, the Terrifiers. Um, I like violent, slashy, gory horror. 413. So, guys, today I have videos coming out for at 8 o'clock and 8:30. Reacher season 2, episode 1, and 30 Coins season 1, episode 4. I finally got hold of the last couple episodes of season 1 and of all of season 2. 30 Coins is a TV show. It's a horror TV show. It's on HBO Spain, though they have English. They have It's subbed and dubbed, I think now. It's worth watching. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, Copa. That's the perfect way to do it. Uh, and so 30 Coins. I recommend. If there's any TV shows people aren't watching, they should be watching 30 Coins and From, two amazing horror TV shows. Um, Reacher season Reacher season 2 started out as pure Reacher. It was great. Everything you expected Reacher to be. So good. What else I got going on? I will be doing a video this week. Di- Entitled "Did Hinata Really Save Naruto in the Pain Fight?" So have a slightly controversial take that no one's brought up before. Um, I have my widest Boruto suck video, which is going strong at 199 views, which for me is a lot. Um, it's funny, people are watching it, even half, but not like liking or disliking it. So it's kind of weird, you know. But it's supposedly getting high, like people aren't just watching 10 seconds and leaving. According to the analytics, they're like watching most of it. Um, what else? Yeah, so I'm reviewing 30 Coins ongoing, Reacher ongoing, and Monarch Legacy of Monsters. Those are my ongoing series. I'm probably going to add in another TV show, Yu Yu Hakusho. That's supposed to be premiering tonight, so I'll probably talk about that. I love the Yu Yu Hakusho manga and anime, so hopefully they will not mangle this one. Anyway, guys, it's 4:15. I want to thank Dempsey and Copa and Spike Swordfish and Twerker something or other, whoever, you know, who else? Dempsey. I think I got everyone. I want to thank everyone for coming this week's Friday Fandemonium. Sorry for that interruption before with the guests, with the window knocking. And so next week, this week, I'll probably do a review of. Can you even see what I'm holding up? Or am I being dumb again? So I'll probably do a drop review on Alpha Core #1 as well. So, this has been the Crown Prince of Fandemonia, bringing you over 9,000 worth of content. Whatever that 9,000 is, I don't know. Have a good weekend, everyone. Stay safe and watch out for those knocks on your window. You never know.